Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Look, if you haven't found a seat yet, if you could please find a seat. Thank you. We're about to get underway. Just before we begin our ceremony, a couple of quick housekeeping, please. Obviously, our exits are clearly marked this afternoon. If you need to use a bathroom, ladies, one to my left. Some portaloos by the green, and gentlemen, there's some toilets out there for you also. Please, if you haven't already done so, make sure your cell phone is turned off. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, could you please be upstanding for the entrance of the pallbearers? wonderful pictorial tribute to an outstanding young man. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Gemming family, I will extend a very warm and sincere welcome to you all here today as we celebrate, pay tribute to a young man who I know has impacted our lives in such a significant way. Reality is we shouldn't be here. It's not fair that we're here. But we are. And we find solace today in being together in our collective memories, the stories. It's been awesome to touch base with mates and meet with the whānau yesterday as we reminisce and think of a young man who in 37 years did more than some would do in a lifetime. And we're here today to celebrate him. The music he chose wasn't a mistake. The venue we're hanging out in today isn't a mistake. The awesome toys on display today are not a mistake. All represent a life well spent. To begin our ceremony today, I'd like to invite us all please to stand once more and recite a prayer that Logan knew off by heart. For those who've slightly forgotten it, it's in your handout today and will be on the big screen as well. Could you please stand for the Lord's Prayer? Let us pray. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Please be seated. To the Gemming family, it's truly our honour to join with you today to commemorate a young man who is a gift, not only we know to you, a special part of your lives, but in so many ways has been a special part of ours. We're literally streaming live to other parts of the world today, and to see so many of us here this afternoon to pay our respects just shows how significant this young man's life was to so many of us. We talk about this space for a minute, a space where Logan spent many an hour teaching, coaching, and let's not forget that Friday afternoon ritual when the wheelie bin would roll out and the yellow plastic bat, and that young man would morph into Tindalka as he batted ambidextrically, and the competitiveness of him came out. And it was all on for young and old with a yellow bat, and the so-called teachers became the children again, and you can guarantee Logan was right in amongst all of us. It's okay for us to be real today. I don't want you to be brave. I'll put that away this week. We're going to cry, we're going to laugh together, and we're going to pay tribute to one of the great young men. And to do that, we're going to start with his family, where his life began, and I'd like to invite, please, Jill and John Gemming to come forward with the boys. Come on up.
Track in Britain together and travel together to the Monaco Grand Prix.
It was a perfect day today, Lokes. The tide was in, the sun was shining, and we arrived here in the boat that you just loved. And so, what a perfect way to start the celebration. Logan was born on 3rd of April, 1981. He came home to 67 Forrester Drive, Welcome Bay, where he went to the local Welcome Bay Primary School, Tauranga Intermediate, and Tauranga Boys College. He was named Logan a strong name that we didn't think would be shortened. However, soon he acquired a whole array of names. Logie be it to the family, Logs, Logie, Gims to all his hockey boys, and once he was employed at Tauranga Boys College, I think it was Darryl that gave him the name Gus, and that has stuck. Logan, Howie, you wouldn't believe it, but he started his sporting life as a soccer player, but without undue pressure from anyone. He converted to hockey at the age of 9. From that point on, he represented Tauranga under 13s, under 15s, under 18s, and he had a 4-year stint with Tauranga Boys College First 11. And I still remember more than any other games the regular feature of Otamoto College versus Tauranga Boys. And sometimes it wasn't just about that particular game, it was the Stafford family from Otamoto versus the Gimming family from Tauranga Boys. And we had some very memorable moments, but the wonderful thing is that those families have stayed great friends. He had 3 years, Logan, at Massey University and played for Central under-21s and captained that team and played for Manawatu men. He was selected for New Zealand 16s, under-16s, under-18s and New Zealand University teams, gaining a New Zealand University blue. After graduating, he was employed by Tauranga Boys College, and to my personal joy, he took up coaching. Over the years, we have shared many hours, days and weeks talking together, analysing what went right, what went wrong. I'm going to miss those calls as he's coming home from whatever game it is to just give me that update on what he thought of the game from that night. In his first foray into coaching with Wayne Gribble at Rankin Cup, they finished second, and that was the highest achievement that we have had in this college for hockey. And Logan said to me, "This coaching lark is easy." And however, over the next few years, the reality of the task sunk in, and so some of the telephone calls weren't quite so positive. But he always remained enthusiastic and very positive about each successive year. Logan realised that coaching was not so much about performance medals, but developing people. Logs really cared for his parents. He made regular contact wherever he was in the world. The only time he showed any visible anguish, particularly towards me, was when I decided to mount one of his old surfboards as a sculptural piece on our wall outside the lounge. When he came home, he informed me that that was his best surfboard.
Our family has been overwhelmed these last 5 days by magnificent worldwide support from our family, friends and communities. Teaching, medical, hockey, sailing and tauranga moana. Wonderful flowers, gifts, food to keep us all going, all delivered with much love and kindness. Thank you everybody for doing this, and for those who have travelled so far to be here. Logan's obvious and ongoing love for Kylie has been a huge joy to us all, and together they have been superb role models for their boys, Fergus, Fletcher and Eaton. Always loving, but firm when they needed to be, always encouraging, always teaching them new things and ways to have fun, always involved. It has been great pride in our hearts as we have read and heard the tributes to Logan as a man, teacher and friend, and role model to his students, many of whom have had their lives greatly enhanced by knowing Logan and following his encouragement, advice and guidance. Logan, you have been a treasure. Our memories of you are filled with love and laughter. Your legacy is the bright and shining influence that you have had on your family, your friends, your pupils and your school. Farewell, our darling boy.
You stay pretty composed, I can't say I did the same. Logan was our brother, he was our best friend, but he was also our hero. There's so much I could say about Logan being the legend that he is. He's just such a legend, but you all know that and that's why you're here. My brother Jamie and I used to joke and call him the golden child, because he could do no wrong. When something happened that might upset Logan, we would both say, "Oh, don't upset the golden child." But it was so true. Logan didn't really have many faults, and he was a role model to all of us, both young and old. And that's again why this event is so big and why we're all here today, because he actually truly cared for everyone as well, and such love. As an example of that as well, we went to a 2020 game of cricket last summer, and we couldn't walk 5 metres without stopping into previous students, colleagues, friends, other acquaintances, just to have a chat. And then he hunted out people too. So the sense of, I really got such a sense of his respect in the community last summer. Since I wasn't given an hour to speak, I'm just going to focus on his love for water sports. Though Logan did love all sports, and he was really good at most of them, except for cricket. He swings the bat like a hockey player. Logan loved playing touch rugby and still plays to this day with his close mates. Logan loved mountain biking in the redwoods on school camps. Logan loved squash, playing with his mate Johnny, and he loved golf. Just 2 weeks ago, he took out the Taringa Boys College reunion golf tournament, although the rumours were that he was a bit of a burglar, playing off a much higher handicap than he should have been. Our family grew up on the water in Welcome Bay. Logan and I have so many epic memories on the water together, and it forms such a big part of our lives. From a very young age, Logan was always inspired by the pioneers of windsurfing and water sports, and also local windsurfing and then kite surfing legends. As kids, we had a few VHS tapes of windsurfing that we'd just watch over and over again. We probably watched them 100 times or more. As my father said, Logan was a pretty good windsurfer from the age of 7. He could just sail across the harbour, no problem, and come back. As teenagers, young teenagers, whenever the winds got up and we'd see some windsurfers out, I would say something like, "Logan, there's 2 windsurfers out. One of them looks pretty good." And then he would say, "Rig up the sails, mate." And then we would, I house out there and formally race them just so they would know that he was the fastest on Welcome Bay. I would windsurf for about 1 hour. Logan and his best friend Blair Jordan, they just kept windsurfing until the tide got so low their fin would snag in the sand and they'd get stuck unless they were planning at full speed. They literally had 25 centimetres of water, they were going dangerously fast and 20 knots of wind and just absolutely loving it. As a waterman, there's no such thing as poor conditions for Logan. When the wind was offshore and anything from heavy to gale force, those were great conditions for windsurfing. When the winds were onshore, anything from medium to heavy, then Ferguson Park was great for a kite surf. And Logan loved kiting more than anything else. When Logan and his best friend Blair Jordan got their first kite about 16 years ago, kite surfing was still a relatively new sport. You basically brought a kite from Glen at Salt and taught yourself. There was no safety features on the kite at all. It was amazing watching Logan kite surf for the first time. After a few afternoons at the mount, figuring out how to fly the kite, he stepped onto the board. He'd done so much windsurfing that he just flew right across the harbour and just never looked back. Well, that same afternoon, like most people learning to kite for the first time, I got dragged downwind upside down and just try to stop the kite from crashing. When there was no wind and the water was flat and glassy, then a water ski was on at Welcome Bay, Hunter Creek, or at Lake Rotowedi with his great mate Dave. Water skiing was the one thing I loved to do the most with Logan on the water, because it's the only thing I could actually keep up with him at. We both loved to ski really fast. Mum and Dad would be horrified if they knew how close to the banks we get on windy days just so we could get some glassy water. We're literally crossing the wake going faster than 65 kilometres an hour. They'd be shocked. When it was neither windy or flat, then this was the perfect time to get out a ski biscuit. Logan loved the ski biscuit, and we just loved trying to hurt each other as much as we could. When the waves were up, then that would be a good time for a paddle surf. Logan preferred the paddle board, which is down here, simply because with a paddle board he got to ride more waves. For Logan, that equaled more fun. Logan didn't really care what he did in the water, and he didn't conform to any sort of surfing stereotype. As long as it had involved the water, he wanted in. He had every toy imaginable, and as John said, there's sheds in his back home. And scattered around was just a small selection of some of Logan's gear, both new and quite old, including the first windsurf sail that he learned on when he was about 6 years old. There's literally gear and gear. There's sheds of gear at TBC, there's some in Bethlehem, and there's a lot more at Forest Drive. Just this Christmas, he told me he bought a kneeboard for behind the boat. And I said, bro, people stopped kneeboarding like 25 years ago. Logan's response was, bro, you have to try it next time. It's so much fun. And that was Logan's mantra. Just having fun, having an adventure in the water, and being a yes man. He got just as much enjoyment out of body surfing the waves, boogie boarding and wharf bombing with his kids that he did with anything else. The first day, his son Fergus got up on the water skis. He sent me a video straight away. He was just so proud. This was followed up with a phone call to tell me how epic the day was. And Logan's loved sharing his passion for water sports with so many. There must be hundreds, if not 1,000 odd, ex-students that have gone on one of Logan's outdoor ed camps. He often told me about his plans for camps, and he worked out the perfect balance for fun for him and fun for the kids. He organised kite surfing camps, mountain biking camps, kayaking camps, rafting camps, surf camps, camps at Lake Tarawera so he could get in a water ski. The list just went on. Logan lived his dream of being a waterman and paid for it too. But life has forever changed. Logan? Still can't process what life means without you, mate. Who do I water ski with at the crack of dawn? Who do I windsurf with? And who's going to pick me up in a jet ski when I've been blowing miles downwind, failing at kite surfing again? This is still so unreal to me. I'm not ready to say goodbye. I love you so much, bro. I'll always be there for Pies and the boys. May you rest in peace.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Luke, Jamie. Thank you for sharing your son with us and the treasured memories and thoughts you have of him. Great to see those resounding giggles and laughs around the auditorium as we connect with so much of what you share. Thank you. To pay further tribute to Logan today, we have a colleague, a coach and a friend, Mr. Wayne Gribble. If you come forward, please. Thank you, Wayne.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, family and friends of Logan Gilly. My name is Wayne Gribble, and I've been asked to say a few words today. While this is not in my speech, Gus would be very amused to see me up here today because this is the first time in 15 years I've actually worn a tie. But there are three words that have come to me over the last few days that I wanted to talk about, and they'll make absolutely no sense to you. Those words are perspective, impact, and legacy. I'm hoping by the time I've finished this, you will understand why these words have become so important to me as I've thought about Logan throughout the week. I first met Logan back in 1997 when I started teaching at Tauranga Boys College. Logan was a year 12 student, or a sixth former for those of us with a bit more grey hair. He was a member of the first 11 hockey team. Logan had been an age group representative throughout his youth, and he was an accomplished hockey player. Yet my enduring first memory of meeting him as coach of the first 11 was his cheeky smile. You'll know the one I'm talking about. Now, while there is no meter you can hook a smile up to that will give you an analysis, I believe that smile was made up of about 25% humour, 65% I've got you sussed, and roughly 10% mischief. That smile has become iconic to Logan, and I think whoever was on the receiving end of it got the same composition of humour, I've got you sussed, and that little bit of mischief. And yes, Kylie, that does include you. Now, positions in hockey are very similar to wands in Harry Potter. It's not the wizard that chooses the wand, it's the wand that chooses the wizard. And equally, it's not the player that chooses a position in hockey, it's the position that chooses the player. Logan was my inside left. It was a demanding role. Typically, you mark the opposition's best player. You're expected to be at the other end of the field, distributing ball and building attack. The position demands someone that is quick, intelligent, a thinker, is calm yet determined, and does not get flustered in tight situations. They are good decision makers. Logan had these qualities in abundance. When I talked with Jill this week, she described a son who for her was a rock. Logan was the boy that was a bit more predictable in how he went about things. It is what made him such a good inside forward. It is also what contrasted him with his hockey playing brothers Jamie and Luke. You see, the gaming gene is a complicated one, because while Logan may well have been predictable, Jamie and Luke could perhaps be found at the other end of the predictability continuum. Jamie is a goalkeeper, of course, that always requires a degree of insanity. And Luke is a striker that demands a more material way of operating. All three boys played hockey to a high level, and each of their personalities emerged to make them so effective in their respective positions. So in 1997, with Logan a key member of the first 11, we went away and we won India Shield, the second to top secondary school boys hockey tournament in New Zealand. The following year, in 1998, we went to Rankin Cup, the premier hockey tournament for boys in New Zealand. We played Palmerston North Boys High School in the semi-final. We were up 3-0 at half-time. We ended up losing the match 4-3. I'm convinced we were the best secondary school boys team in New Zealand that year. And every year, Logan and I would have a beer and relive what went wrong that day. After 20 years of debrief and reflection, we never managed to identify what quite went wrong in that game. But one thing I know for certain, Logan was instrumental both as a player and a coach in the building of hockey to the standard that it is today at Tauranga Boys College. Now, as a hockey coach, I have my own style. Some might say I can be a little grumpy. I prefer to believe that I have high standards that get articulated in a very assertive manner from time to time. Either way, Logan was one of the players responsible for naming my training shirt back in 1998. The team, sponsored annually by John's Medical Practice, received a training shirt with players' names printed on the back. Mine was named Grimace. While no one officially owned up to that name, Logan was fingered by several of his mates. And so when Logan started teaching at Tauranga Boys College in 2003, he co-coached the first 11 with the Grimace. My coaching style had changed little from the days when Logan was on the receiving end of Grimace. It was at this time that Logan taught me all about perspective. He grew my coaching, and indeed myself as a person, by making sure I viewed things in a balanced way. He grounded me and gave me greater appreciation to always keep things in perspective, regardless of how they might seem. He was the one that walked into the dressing sheds the year we lost the Rankin Cup final, patted me on the back and said, "Well, Grips, it's just another game of hockey." Jill, you've said to me that Logan viewed me as a mentor. I can place hand on heart and tell you that this young man was equally my mentor, and I'm a better person for having Logan in my life. Logan's tacit teachings on perspective not only improved me as a coach, they improved me as a person. Now, Jill and Kylie, you may well be sitting there and suggest that at times Logan exhibited a bit too much perspective. In fact, you might indeed be sitting there thinking that, Wayne, you could well rebrand that word perspective and call it laid back. But let me tell you this, in a crisis, in a tight situation, when sound decision-making was required, Logan brought a perspective that made even the most calamitous of situations seem manageable. He was the man that you wanted around when the chips were down. Logan created calm. Which brings me to my second word, impact. There are many educators in the gym today, and every one of you will understand the sentiment that you embark on a career in teaching to make a difference to the lives of young people. Like the Harry Potter analogy, the most effective teachers have not chosen teaching, but teaching has chosen them. This is never truer than with Logan. He was born to teach. He positively impacted on the lives of hundreds of young men that have passed through this school as a teacher, as a coach, and as a dean. He has also positively impacted on the colleagues that he has worked with. It is hard to quantify just how he managed to do it. Because you see, Logan didn't explicitly set out to impact positively on the people he met. He just did. Because that was the nature of who he was. In my view, it's the qualities that I've talked about that made him such an effective educator. Cheeky smile. You have amassed a legacy that will live forward beyond today. Your legacy will live in each of us who are better for having known you and being influenced by you. There's something else you might know about the Guinea male. They are a cunning breed. They have a knack of marrying or partnering with very strong and intelligent women. Logan, with Kylie, you made a formidable team. And in Fergus, Fletcher and Eton, you and Kylie have delivered your three greatest achievements. And I see in these boys the beginnings of that cheeky smile, the rock, the sense of perspective, the intelligent thinker. And those boys, just like their dad, I see them making an impact. And so, Logan, your legacy is great. Gus, I've searched and searched for a way of ending this that does justice to the person that you were, and with very little success. Every word that I wrote just didn't seem to convey what your life has meant to me and to everyone that came into contact with you. And so I chose to follow your advice. Grips, keep it simple. 37 years was far too short, but thank you for the time that I had with you. And I trust that you truly understand this, Gus. You made me better for having you in my life. And in that respect, you will always live on.
superb words. Again, very lucky to have the tributes today, ladies and gentlemen, and I know each word resonates with us in the room. Just those who arrived standing, there are some seats up the front if you'd like to come and take a seat. Just make your way down, don't be shy people, come on in. And those out the back, still there is some space under the shade and speakers out there so you can still hear if you want to be part of that, so don't feel like you have to stand for too long. Well done. Our next tribute today comes from a man who knew Logan well. He will speak on behalf of which I'd like to invite Mr. Neil Howard to come and speak, please. Thank you, Neil.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to what we call our Tūranga Waiwai Tauranga Boys College. My name is Neil Howard and I'm here to represent the staff of the college farewelling one of our very special own. It's Kylie Marie, Fergus, Fletcher and Eaton. It's been remarkable and inspiring to see your strength this week. Everybody I've spoken to has talked about how unbelievable you are, and I echo those sentiments. I can only imagine what you're going through. To John, Jill, Jamie and Luke, hopefully you take some comfort in the surroundings, knowing how pivotal this institution has been in shaping the young Logan into the pillar of this community he's obviously become. Those of you who can't be here today, welcome on the live stream. I've had a number of messages from people saying with heavy hearts what they haven't been able to do, so we feel your presence here as well. One of the best things about today is that the hockey fraternity has once again wrecked the rugby field by parking all over it. It would have been much better if it had been raining, I suppose, but it is the cricket season, and the cricket pitch will be good for tomorrow. The outdoor ed department has been surveying the gear to see which has the initials TBC on it, as opposed to LDG, and we'll make some reparation at some time. Logan was very much a collector, a little bit of a magpie at picking up things here and there. Good to see he had a TBC South African cricket tour hat with him yesterday. I'm not sure he came on that trip. When you leave our school, we farewell you. It's a great day, and the guys who are hugely attached to the school often shed quite a tear. They think they're pretty brave about it, but this is the family, and so I want to focus on Logan's time here. And as a student, we've heard from Gribbs. I'm not Gribbs, by the way, but I got asked that yesterday. Oh, Gribbs, you think so? No, we look sort of similar, but he's clearly better looking. I'll say that in public, but I don't really believe it. Got my fingers crossed. Logan was an excellent scholar here at school. He left here with an A bursary in his pocket and he headed down to Palmerston North to meet some reprobate mates that he's been mates with for quite some time. They've done a sterling job over the last week. He played 100 games or more for the first 11 hockey team. I remember him as a young coach coaching our football team here. I saw about 90% mischief. He would, because the hockey team was going well, the football team was on the way up, let's say. But the hockey team was certainly doing very well in those days and continues to. By 2003, our story here starts when he was back here teaching, 21 years of age and looking every inch 13. Luckily, there was some uglier men in the peer department who looked after him, like Hester. So by 2003, he's back here, he's coaching that first 11. He's found hockey coaching to be simple. He's made it very easy. Jill and I were discussing this yesterday. I told her I'd coached TBC for more losses than any other coach in the history of the school. And there were those sorts of things about how he had such a dream run, but it was no accident, was it? It was no accident. He's an energy giver. And that energy flowed through his teams. always picked up on that. Boys, without saying, the quiet ones could feel that he felt their empathy and all the rest of it. And he was a great coach. It wasn't old school and it wasn't new school. It was just being human. And as a staff, we discuss coaching. We discuss how to get the best out of our boys. And I always ask my boys, what are we playing this? What are we doing this for? And fun was always at the top of the list and remains to be there. He also involved himself in the kayaking and sailing teams. We had a few good sailors through the school. The school likes to hang their hat on our sailors, even though we're not by the beach. And we love the kayaking, even though we don't have a pool and all those other things. We seem to be quite good at water sports. And Logan's, I'm the master in charge of kayaking. We're the national champions for 8 years in a row. And it was good. So those sorts of things were extremely positive in his life. And he enjoyed those trips down to Wanaka and wherever else they went. At the end of 2005, Logan's itchy feet had seen him move to London. By this time, he's a young classroom practitioner. He's proven himself with excellent subject knowledge. He can control any class. He's been thoroughly prepared. He's got great management and communication skills. And he'd embraced the digital world to such an extent that he was the go-to guy for people on our staff. Away from school, he's playing his top-level hockey, and he was a keen and key member of the famous Puppies Touch team. We used to have 3 teams on our staff, and Grimace over there was talking about getting a shirt. Well, everybody got a shirt named after a dog. So amongst our team, Logan was obviously sheep dog. His teammates were Big Dog, Hot Dog, Dirty Dog, Guard Dog, Baked Dog, Snoop Dog, and Clifford the Big Red Dog. And someone was Sausage Dog. He goes, you'll get over that, mate. And his nickname of Logan to Gus, coming from Augustine Logie, a diminutive West Indian cricketer with a distinctive afro, seemed quite fitting. Logan was stoked to get a job at Arnold House when he moved to London. He'd done some time in some rougher inner city places. And on his passing, the head of the school here, Mr. Thomas, sent us an email and commented that Logan was a wonderfully talented colleague whose sense of fun and positive outlook rubbed off on us all. I know that they are watching some of this over there. And they said that one of TVC's own became one of ours for a while, and we stand side by side remembering him with love and admiration for what he gave Arnold House. Gussie came back home in 2009 and was ready for the next phase of his life. It coincided with the rebirth of the house system, and Gus has been instrumental in its success, being Ngāti through and through, always ready to embark in gamesmanship and gaining an extra edge. He MCs the house events, so it's always best to not go first, isn't it? I don't think Ngāti have been going first in a house event for quite some time. Since Terns left when he was running it, and Freiburg got all the glory. As a teacher, he went from strength to strength, taking senior classes, heading out to red camps, becoming a dean, and recently being involved in professional learning with Nicole, whilst maintaining his hockey commitments and raising a beautiful family. As a dean, he routinely made larger lads see his way by saying, "You will do this, and this will happen." Fearless, uncompromising, standards-driven, always sure of why he was here and what he was doing. Of course, good times and good fun followed Gus everywhere. Nearly every member of the PE department has given the little fox terrier with the heart of a lion a crack at some stage for being too cheeky. And he always bounced back. He always went, "Is that all you got?" Well, I sat there and thought, well, maybe it's not all they've got, but we'll see. And he certainly loved those things. He loved the South American Hockey Tour in 2011. He didn't love the Argentine take on the fact that hockey was a game for the women and children. And he convinced this large man that it was for the boys too, and they enjoyed their hockey over there very much. On the squash court, I've never seen a man be hit in the head by squash rackets so often by others, all accidental. And he also played 2 test matches for the Mud Dogs, our staff rugby team, which plays intermittently. And perhaps his finest moment was throwing the ball in himself with nobody behind the ball. Only one option, find someone to pass it to real quick and get out of the way, which he did very successfully. In a reference way back in 2000 from Arthur Jordan, he praised Logan for his wit and turn of phrase, pointing out that he was always careful to remain courteous with the humour and it not being at the expense of others. I'm sure Luke and Jamie, you were never at the expense. It was never you. No one ever took things the wrong way, and they always got back up and got back into it. Perhaps his finest moment was a general fight with Gareth White. You can ask some of the staff about that later, where two guys with Jandal did not give in until the other one didn't give in. Some of the best entertainment you'll ever pay for. On any trip, Gus was front and centre organising and hyping and ensuring that the best night was had. On the staff, we've had a number of things, the sports awards, which isn't really the sports awards. You don't want to win anything at the sports awards. It's for when you stuff things up. Logan, of course, was hugely organised, and he remains the only person I know who's lost a master key. But I'm sure we found it. Logan knew all the codes to get into everywhere, so I think he could have changed that, no trouble at all. After someone gives a speech talking about Gus and how great he was as a teacher and so on, that person tends to get the chance to then get up and say something for themselves. And Logan, I'm just going to speak for you for a moment. Logan would have got up and he would have thanked Robert for the opportunity. He would have thanked the ladies in the office. He would have thanked Marshy and the PE boys, Waddy and the deans, his Narimu housemates, RBL, Paige, Stevie G, the hockey boys, his form teacher Buddy Corney, who sent me a beautiful message this morning saying how great Logan was as a form teacher in pastoral care. He would also thank his family for allowing him to spend so much time with his other family, which is TBC. And lastly, he would have thanked the boys. Gribbs talked on it. He loved the boys. He loved teaching. He was full of energy and passion. Quick wit, huge knowledge. He was a role model to so many. I sit there listening to the guys before me going, it's a spot on you. It's as though you've been sitting with me while I've been writing what I've had in front of me. So we say goodbye to you, Gussie. And on behalf of all of us, it's too soon. It's wrong, but we can't change it. So we say thank you, mate. And love your work. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Neil. It's another window into Logan's incredible world, and once again a fitting tribute to the legacy he has left in the teaching profession and the loss he is to us. But the enduring memory, the laugh, the smiles, we'll carry on with forever. In our tribute now, we're going to move towards his mates, and I'd like to invite his best friend Blair Jordan to come forward and share his tribute to Logan. Thank you, Blair.
Beautiful words, guys. Neil, groups.
Oh, it's tough.
I wish I could come up here and say something funny and witty like Logan would, but it's just so incredibly sad. Logan would not know the right words to say. I'll try my best. Logan, brother, we're heartbroken. We love you. On Sunday, this world lost a legend. Quite possibly the world's best husband, father, son, brother, friend, teacher, and amazing human. I know you're still with us. You and your family have been a huge part of every chapter of my life. Oh, Logs. We need to celebrate you and try not to be sad. There was always a grin, most of the time cheeky. You were always keen for anything and everything. Any suggestions of something cool to do, the response would be, yeah bro. Logan was a yes man. From the very beginning, when we were young, I have fond memories of the giving household. It was like a big toy shop. It still is. It was fun, a bit noisy, a bit rowdy. Occasionally blood when there was disagreements between one of the four boys. And great toys. Welcome Bay Estuary was our backyard, where our love for the outdoors and adventure began as kids. Sailing, our windsurfers, optimists, catamaran, to Rotary Park and back. We started camping young. These were special times. We'd go to a Hopi every January for 13 years. The Gemmings, the Rosses, the Clarks, the Jordans, a number of other families over the years, the Stewarts, the Fergusons, a number of others. We have an amazing group of close family friends. We'll all miss you, Logan. Our families would load up the catamaran, the windsurfers, boat, bike, bodyboards, surfboards. I guess we have our parents to thank for what we see here. We learned all those things over those years. Luke, I recall arguments over who was the whitewash king when we were surfing down at West End. Wanting to relive that Hopi experience 5 years ago, we started with the next generation. Bringing our own kids to a Hopi beach each year to build with us their own special memories of camping with close friends, the same crew. A classic was last year when a tropical cyclone had hit the east coast. 115 kilometre winds, the works, rain, everything. Both Logan and I get cabin fever pretty bad. After postponing a day, we saw a window. We could get in, we could get the tents up. Yeah, right. A video did the rounds on Facebook the other day. We had got our tents up. The wind is howling. Logan's pipes up. All the kids, Kylie, Rita, we're leaning into the wind on the sand dunes at 45-degree angles. And Logan's pipes up. The weather is great! You have to get down here! Ever optimistic and positive. Ever. Gear has definitely been upgraded from the old days. Partly because the Gemming boys have a strong commitment to have the latest kit. Jamie and Logan did used to laugh about your sleeping. What did skipping have to do with hockey? I know there are a few complaints from Logan initially, but it turns out mental toughness is a big deal. Under group's guidance, we got pretty good at hockey. Also became quite graceful skippers. Our passion for windsurfing had continued. Logan was amazing on the windsurfer. He danced on the thing. Logan, you'd go in for a beautiful jibe right in front of whoever was watching on the lawn at Jill and John's and just nail it to perfection. My style was to come in hot and spectacularly dismount trying to jibe, and this led to a lot of broken windsurfing gear. Logan's called it the curse of the Jordan. Logan, you reminded me of this often. Logan's had a great crew of mates from TBC. I know it's tough for those who haven't been able to make it back. Many of us have reunited this week. We've shared some great memories from our school years. Tomo, Gracie, Browse, Zach, Codge, Spud. Too many to remember. I shouldn't list names because it's people, but I'll leave those stories for tonight, those memories and those stories. But thanks for getting us back together this week, Luke. As Luke mentioned, we went halves in our first kite when we were 19, I think it was, because my calculation's a little different to yours, Luke. I think I was at 17, 18 years ago, during summer holidays from uni. It was good times. Yeah, bro. We also got a boat around this time and later a jet ski. We windsurfed, kited, skied, wakeboarded, whenever we could. The summers when we were back from uni, we spent countless days and nights jumping between the Gimmings house and my house. Whichever place had the better wind or wave conditions. Many days were spent around the pool and the spa, on the estuary at the Gimmings house. We walked up the mount this morning with Kylie and friends, looking out over our playground. Hunters Creek was like a mill pond. I recall a Christmas day at Hunters, we had a brand new single ski that we unwrapped. At 5:30 a.m. we were out there. It was just like this morning. It was magic. We were back in time for prison opening when everyone was waking up. Yeah, bro. We toasted our 21st birthdays in Maui in the best way we knew how. Our shared love of the ocean and adventures. We kited and windsurfed from morning until night. Only coming in for Mountain Dew and chip sandwiches. Sorry guys that we forgot to leave you guys that week. One of the days we were looking for a new reef break to windsurf on. It's called Spreckles. We turned into the wrong reserve, which happened to be Robbie Nash's house, a legend of windsurfing and kiting, one of our idols. The lawn was covered in kites, windsurfers, all the toys. We were both just buzzing. As our idol walked down the stairs of his house out onto his lawn, said, "Boys," to us. We both couldn't speak, starstruck. I think we ran away like little fangirls. Yeah, but Kylie, what do I say? He loves you so very, very much. His perfect match. He means so much to us all, Kylie. One of our first meetings with Kylie, we went over for a windsurf. Funny day. To the Gimmings house, there was Kylie sitting on the deck, happily watching me and Logs windsurfing on one of our many play dates. Not long a spectator, Logs got a reluctant Kylie and a Rita out there on the kids' rigs. I'm not sure if it was the yellow one or another one. Very similar, even though they weren't overly keen to participate. A testament to your knack of encouraging people to give it a go. I don't think they ever graduated from the kids' rigs. We were just big kids. We'd tell the girls, back in an hour, and return 3 hours later, sunburned, exhausted, and stoked. Thank you, Kylie, for being so patient and letting me have my play dates with Logs. I did steal a bit. It's been very special teaching our own boys to surf together. We had them out there on surfboards when they were 4, James and Ferg. Ferg, you made me laugh this week when you asked if James has lost all his skills because we've been living in Singapore. I took them out on Wednesday. The waves were perfect. The sun was shining. I felt Logan there with us. Ferg, your dad from the early years, he was an epic windsurfer. You, Fergs, like your dad, are talented so young. Already doing little carves on your surfboard. I love it. Wednesday was the beginning of many epic surf and water sports adventures with you boys. Fletcher, James, and me. Ethan, you're not there yet. I'll get you out there when it's all good with your mum. You boys need to take me on your water play dates now. Logs, you lived life to the fullest. You just loved doing stuff. Logs was an awesome, caring, compassionate person. A real testament to Jill and John. Loving, supportive, generous parents. Already I see those same traits of Logan and your little boys close. Again, a reflection of the amazing parents here in Logan are, and that Jill and John, I'm sure will speak about. Logs, I know you want me to say that. While I was writing this, I saw a quote on a movie cover from McLaren. Logs love his cars too. Life is measured in achievement, not in years alone. This is fitting for you, bro. I have 37 years of very special memories with you. You definitely crammed a lot into those years. I feel very grateful to you for being such a kind and loyal friend. The best. You'll be in my thoughts and my heart forever. The smell of wetsuits will remind me of you. The feel of the wind in my face. It's 15 knots, bro. Nah, it's 17, bro. You'll be with me in the ocean. Until we meet again. Thank you for everything. Yeah, bro.
Thank you, Glenn. Once again, appreciate you sharing those special memories with us. Just to further those tributes from his mates, those guys he knocked around with at university, I'd like to invite Gareth Wood and Cameron Jones to come forward, please. Thank you, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gareth Wood and this is Cameron Jones. And we were both fortunate enough to have studied with Logan and Kylie for 4 years at Western University. We also lived with them both during our time in London. He was also a groomsman for both of our weddings. We are absolutely honoured to be able to share some of our special memories and thoughts with you this afternoon.
Like many of you, we were drawn to Logan and his many qualities almost instantly. Although we all know Logan through different channels and walks of life, we feel that there are particular qualities and characteristics that make him the man that we know and love.
Logan lived life to its fullest. Between the reference carpe diem or seize the day resonates strongly when we reflect upon his outlook on life. He made the most of every opportunity. He ran a marathon, travelled the world, made friendships in every circle, summited in Jaro, nailed his degree in education. He took part in every sport under the sun, although I will agree with Luke, he's a pretty rubbish cricket player. He bungeed, hot air ballooned and skydived twice. And this is just scratching the surface. He certainly seized the moments and opportunities in life, from meeting his perfect partner to everything in between.
However, this has not always been the case. It might surprise you to know Logs wasn't always the charismatic, sweet-talking, romantic guy that we knew. In fact, midway through our second year at university, Logs came home in a bit of a cold sweat, declaring to us that he'd fallen for a girl and wasn't sure how to proceed. As good mates, we sensed the opportunity to stitch him up. And what followed was a Denzel Washington-like speech where we encouraged Logs to get into the car, drive around to her house, and plant this long, lingering kiss on this poor girl. Carpe diem, we told him, seize the day. And heeding our advice, Logan hopped in the car and headed off for a moment of truth. And we did what any good mates would do in this situation. We tailed him to see the carnage unfold. Hiding in the bushes, we witnessed Logs, as he was instructed, bound into the door, and what followed was a long, meaningful embrace. Surprised, Woody and I turned to each other in disbelief that he'd actually pulled it off. You'll be pleased to know that the mysterious lass was Kylie, and it was the beginning of a beautiful relationship.
Logan had a knack of forming incredible and lifelong friendships One only needs to glance around the room today to see the sheer scale of people with whom he connected. His quick wit and cheek endeared him to all. To this day, it amazes me how Logs could say some highly offensive things with that cheeky grin on his face and get away with it every time. He made the offensive seem so inoffensive. He had the ability to light up a room, and he stood tall in a crowd, metaphorically speaking, of course. Sorry, boys. One more short joke. He was empathetic, compassionate, and would always be aware of everyone in the room, and was genuinely interested in what others were up to. He was the man to see if you had a question or queries, if you needed help or guidance. More often than not, he knew exactly what to do. And even if he didn't, he came up with something and said it with such conviction that you wouldn't dare doubt it.
We've heard this so many times today, but Logan is a role model. When considering role models in life, we tend to think of someone so much older than ourselves. But this wasn't the case with Logan. We're all here today because of the way he touched our lives in some way, shape or form. Professionally, he inspired others through his passion, commitment to teaching and coaching. And this in turn was reflected in the meaningful relationships he's developed with many of the students under his guidance. You could not find a better human being to look up to. As a friend, a role model, he will continue to guide us.
He was an amazing, patient, attentive dad. So many of us looked up to Logs, and what an inspirational father he is. How involved he was, always doing something for the boys and creating memories. And not just his own kids, but all of our children. Patiently teaching them how to surf, water ski, manu off the wharf, ride bikes, biscuits and scooters, how to embrace life.
Logan and Kylie were the first of our friendship group to marry. Logan was the model husband. He is patient, caring and devoted. It's been amazing to watch their relationship grow. Obviously Kylie has played a huge part in this. What a team they are.
Kylie, you have an ability like no one else to harness his energy. You are the yin to his yang. He absolutely adored you. The journey ahead for you will not be easy, but please know you will not be taking this journey at home.
As we unite to farewell our best friend and remember the amazing memories that we have shared with him, we know that to remain in the hearts of loved ones that we leave behind is not to die. Logan will walk alongside us and take each step through life. Thank you.
Thanks, Gareth. Thanks, Cameron. I'm going to take a moment now to pause, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to be upstanding and sing a great hymn. Logan was an enthusiastic singer. Like the rest of his life, he gave everything. So let's play tribute to him as we stand and sing together. Amazing Grace. Would you please be upstanding?
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
like to now invite Mr. Steve Crawford, Logan's father-in-law, to come forward, please, and share some thoughts with us. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Steve, Kylie's dad. Both Sheila, my wife, and myself have seen how amazing both Logan and Kylie have developed together and all their adventures and gatherings with family and friends. We've watched Logan nurture the boys into their sports and all their beach activities, whether surfing, boogie boarding, fish and chip tea down Pilot Bay, skateboarding. He's always been there to do it and been so patient with them. So Cheryl and I were so proud to have Logan as a son-in-law, a caring, loving husband to Kylie and a doting father to Fergus, Fletcher and Ethan. We knew this and loved him for it. So on Monday, the sympathy car arrived for Kylie and the boys. As I read this, I was blown away that Logan was an amazing man at school as well. This card was from a Tauranga boy, and I thought I would like to read this card to Logan here today. I asked the young man that wrote it if it was okay. It is with heartfelt sympathy and deep sadness that I write to you regarding the death of Logan. As a student and a hockey player, I was blessed to have had Logan as a part of my life, a teacher and a coach. He was one of the few teachers who I could genuinely relate to, possibly due to our shared interest in sport and values. I want your family to know that the impact he has had on my life is far greater than that of simply coach and teacher. When I was 16, my father ceased to be part of my life. I will always remember those difficult times in which motivation and self-belief were a struggle. Mr. Kenyon always took notice of my struggles and troubles, and although not aware of the specific difficulties I faced, was a large part of the reason I could keep coming to school. In the absence of my own dad, Logan was a positive and relatable role model. I owe so much to him for my success at high school. When I last saw Logan, we discussed my plans for study and careers after school. I would see the happiness in his family, the love he had for his children, his wife Kylie, and of course, saw every day at school the work he did to provide for them. If I am able to lead a life in which my family is put first and provided for, as Logan has done for his, this will be my mark of success. Our last contact with Logan was through a text Cheryl sent to him on their wedding anniversary a couple of weeks ago. As usual with Logan, some quick witted banter, backwards and forwards, and signed off, happy and proud to be part of our family. Hi Logs, bye, happy beats.
Love from Steve and Cyril. Many of you will remember that at our wedding, and that is how our son-in-law introduced everybody as his new mother and father.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Cheryl. Really appreciate sharing those thoughts with us. Now I'd like to invite a very brave young man and the first of Logan's legacy to come and share some words. Fergus Gemming.
My dad had the most amazing smile in the world. Seeing him catching the waves, he looked like he was having a amazing time. I haven't seen him like that in a long time. Water sports were some of his favourite things. I wish he didn't have to go. I love my dad with all my might. You were the coolest dad. I love you forever.
You're the man, Fergus. Outstanding. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, and we agree. You didn't want your dad to go either, mate. Thank you for sharing those special memories with us. Now I'm going to play for you a special song, and this is the true flavour of Logan, Kylie and their family. When I first saw it on the program, I was a little confused, but having known these guys, it's completely appropriate, and I understand as of yesterday it's in this song that Logan found his funk. So would you please just enjoy the Gemming family song for a moment.
I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it.
Come on, people, get on your feet for a minute, eh? Here we go. Come on.
I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it.
Awesome, thank you team for sharing that with us. It's a legacy of dance move there. Thank you so much. Our last tribute for this afternoon. I said to Kylie yesterday, I said, wow. Last tribute this afternoon, fitly and aptly, goes to Logan's partner in crime, his very best of friends and beloved wife. Kylie, come and share your thoughts with us.
Firstly, I just want to say thank you to all the people that have stood up here today and paid a beautiful tribute to my stunning husband. Your kind words will sit with me forever. As I stand here today, I stand not as a grieving wife, but as the luckiest woman alive. Lucky to have been chased and won over by the most beautiful man I knew. I'm lucky to have been able to spend 18 wonderful years together, and 13 of those as your very proud wife. I'm lucky to have your family and extended family who admire you so much, welcome me and accept me into their lives. I'm lucky to have been able to share with you my family who have truly valued your contributions to us and who know you as one of them. I'm lucky to have a man who's prepared to move mountains to support my mum, my dad, my sister, Cade and Matt through what we thought was the hardest times of their lives. To even consider moving to Parney was not too much for Logs, even though the town did not make any sense to him. To have as much wind as it does, and have no body of water for him to play with was very frustrating. I'm lucky to have spent some beautiful times travelling and making wonderful memories and creating genuine friendships. I'm lucky to have created 3 mini Logans who have your heart, your spirit, and your gentle ways running deep in their bones. I'm lucky to have made special friendships who have journeyed with us into making our gorgeous wee people into better gorgeous wee people. I'm lucky to have the most amazing time creating the most amazing memories for our beautiful children thus far. I am lucky to have been part of a team, a real team who valued respect, honesty, communication, and the most deepest of love. I sat and wrote this next to you on Tuesday night. We welcomed you home for the very last time on that day. I've struggled to find the words to honour you in a way that demonstrates my love for you and everybody else's deep regard and love of you. You were my man with the words. You knew what to say and when to say it. You made everyone feel important. And I know damn well you would give your shirt off your back if you knew it was going to be helpful to someone. Lois, I've learned so much from you. You were always teaching me. You taught me to love and to really love. You taught me patience and how to share. And you're still trying to teach the girl from Palmy how to have a love of the sea. You taught me how to travel, and you taught me how to love the things we do and the people we do it with. As I was away last week studying, we learned the idea of holding on to people with care. As the week went by, I processed what this means and how I was going to learn that skill to take into my counselling practice. It is only now that I realise that I was living with a man that did this in his every interaction he had with people, and you did it with such ease and grace. You had an amazing ability to connect with people and to listen. Whether it was a phone call late at night from a concerned parent of a student, or a hockey boy, or a conversation with a friend. Your ability to stay connected, to be respectful, and to be in that moment was you demonstrating holding on to someone with care. Once again, you were teaching me. Logs, you were my teammate. I am unsure how to enter the playing field without my wingman. We just worked, and I feel we were only getting better at it. We had plans, man. So much to do. I did not want to wish it away, but I was hanging out for retirement with you. I couldn't wait to have you to myself so we could argue about how slow you walked or how fast I was going. When I wished you goodbye on Sunday before you left this earth, I told you to have fun. I hope that you are doing exactly that, and I really hope you are having a beer with Uncle Dylan, telling him about his beautiful nieces and nephews and the wonderful life that you have lived. To our beautiful boys, Fergus, Fletcher and Esther, I'm so very sorry that you were exposed to this pain. I hope that you will remember your dad as the most beautiful dad in the world. I know that when Daddy left us, he left us with a very full heart. You boys have loved so well. You made Daddy feel like the best daddy ever, and you regularly told him, and I know he was warmed with your generous love. I look forward to watching you grow and seeing your father in you and what you will become. I know that Logan felt loved by all. He had such a huge network of people that shared their love with him. The support we have had is absolutely overwhelming. Logan would be amazed at the efforts that people have taken to acknowledge him and all that he did. I cannot possibly reach out to all of you to thank you individually, but I do hope you know that we are so very touched by your generosity, your kind words and your support. I ask that it does not stop. Logs was a big campaigner for just dropping in to visit people. This frustrated me as I like to turn up with something, but it was him to a T. He valued good conversation and he had curiosity for people, and what they were up to. So please just drop by. We will need that. Or flick through a message to let us know that we are still in your thoughts. Or drop in and share a story. Logan David Emmett. My heart is heavy. Heavy with a pain no one should ever feel. But I know that we did love so well. So it is with this love that I will take our boys and help them to shine. I ask that you guide us and watch over us to keep us safe. I don't want to do life without you, but you have taught me how to do it, and I am so grateful for that. Kaore e tae te kuku, te whakapuaki taku aroha mōru. Words can't express how much I love you. You and my boys are my world. We lived life well, with so much love and so much fun. And for that, we are lucky. I will always be your gorgeous, and you will always be my home. Have fun, hon.
Thank you, Kylie. Kylie, Fergus, Fletcher, Eaton. Thank you for sharing your dad, your husband with us. Jill, John, Luke, Jamie, thank you for sharing your son, your brother with us. Thank you for sharing today with us. Thank you for reminding us today what it is to love. Thank you for setting an example today of how to grieve. Thank you for setting an example today that amidst our greatest adversity we can laugh and find strength in being together. Thank you, thank you, thank you to your Father. Not only will our thoughts and prayers be with you, but we will make that commitment. We'll not be strangers, and make sure that we support you in the years to come in honour to this great man. We're now going to take a moment. There's been lots of tributes, and I thank all those who've shared their thoughts with us this afternoon. They have stirred us and inspired us and resonated in our hearts, I know. We're now going to have a visual tribute, which is an opportunity for you just to stop, reflect, and reminisce on Logan David Emmett.
Every time our eyes meet, this feeling inside me is almost more than I can take. Baby, when you touch me, I can feel how much you love me, and it just blows me away. I've never been this close to anyone or anything. I can hear your thoughts, I can see your dreams. I don't know how you do what you do. I'm so in love with you. It just keeps getting better. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you by my side, forever and ever. Every little thing that you do, baby, I'm amazed by you. The smell of your skin, the taste of your kiss,
Logan, thank you. Thank you for bringing us together and reminding us of what life can be. Thank you for showing us in a short amount of time we can truly make a significant impact. As a credit to you, we will aim to live our lives in recognition of those around us and love as you loved. And continue to set the example that you so capably did. Thank you, Ben. Ladies and gentlemen, before we escort Logan from our ceremony today, I would like to invite those who are performing the Guard of Honour, if you could make your way to that area now, please. To those who are performing the Haka tribute, I'd invite you, please, to make your way to that area too, please. This is a significant part of our honour and tribute to Logan today, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to take some time to do this. And in a moment, once those who will honour him, either with the Guard of Honour or with our school haka, we'll invite the rest of us as guests to make our way up to your right, my left, to that extended garden shade, to allow you to be part of that tribute as well. So I'm going to invite the board bearers to please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to make your way, please. But look, it's lovely to see you.
For the people doing the haka, if you can just come around this way, please, Ross.
Gentlemen, Logan will rest with us appropriately under his red half Snarumu. If you'd like to join us with some refreshments, please do stay, connect up with friends and acquaintances, and obviously come pay your final respects to Logan and his whānau. Thank you once again for coming and joining the Gimmick family today. It is truly and much appreciated. God bless, safe travels, and we wish you all the best for the rest of this year. Ka kite anō.